Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. One of the more common questions I get is, what kind of holders do I use for my currency? And well, some of you are gonna cringe, but this is what I use. I use BCW Deluxe Currency regular bill holders. I get these off of eBay. I think they're like $16.98 or something for 50, so I usually buy 100 at a time. You can see the case holds 50. There's the size of the notes that it fits. Opens on the long side, which of course is across the top like that. But then there's the controversial part, which is semi-rigid PVC. If you are a coin collector, you know how bad it is putting coins in a PVC holder. What will happen is, if you have a coin in a PVC container and you leave that out in the sun, the UV rays from the sun are going to cause the chemicals in that plastic to leach out and go onto your coin, thus damaging the coin and destroying a potential value in that coin. Now, there's a difference between collecting coins and collecting currency. You can take a quarter and put it in direct sunlight for, a month, and it's still going to be a quarter at the end of that month. But if I was to take some currency and put that in direct sunlight, the UV light is going to destroy the ink on this, and it's going to fade the note. In older notes, you see that a lot when people would take the first dollar they ever made and put it in a store window. And after years and years of sunlight pounding through that window onto that note, the note fades, and even the seals will almost completely fade off. But then they'll take the note down, they'll look at the back of the note, and the note's beautiful because that side wasn't exposed to sunlight. So sunlight is what's bad for notes. Once again, if you have a coin in a PVC holder and put it in sunlight, the PVC will leach out. If you have currency, you don't even need it to be in a PVC holder for the sun to damage the note. The sun will damage your note. So when it comes to putting it in a holder, I have yet to see a note that I can say was damaged by PVC. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it can't happen. What I am saying is that the damage you're going to find on notes is from the sun. It's going to be faded by the sun. Coin collectors, you can leave your notes out in the sun, or leave your stuff out in the sun all day long. If you don't have a PVC holder, it's not going to do anything to it. But direct sunlight, that will just fade notes so fast. So if you plan on leaving your notes in the sun, doesn't really matter what kind of holder you have it in. Now, if you don't have your stuff left out in the sun like a normal human being, then you're going to be just fine with these particular holders. Now, there are holders out there that don't contain PVC. They are a little bit more expensive. Some people will swear up and down that that's the only kind that you should get. Maybe, I don't know, but that's not what I use. This is the stuff I use. And like I said, as long as I'm not leaving them in direct sunlight, my notes are going to be fine. I have yet to go to a show and see a note that, someone said, oh, this would have been a 65, but someone left it in a PVC holder in the sun, and now it's garbage because the chemicals leached out of the holder. So I don't even know if that's a thing. I've never seen it. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. If you take care of your notes and keep them out of sunlight, the holder will be just fine. All right. So that's that. Let's take a look at what I found this week. Let's slide those out of the way. What do I have? Starting off with a Where's George. Very familiar with that Where's George. I will try to log it in. I think I've exceeded my limit on that one. Another Where's George with this airplane design. I've seen that as well. I know I've seen it because I found two of them. So total of 3 Where's George notes. I'll make it 4. 3 with the airplane and 1 with the other design. I did find some trinaries. No, scratch that. This is 4 pairs, 88119933. I see people talk about having 4 pairs on a note, and they'll have 4 pairs, but the notes will be all, their numbers will be all mixed together. The only way I'm saving 4 pairs is when it looks like this, when they're right next to each other the whole way across. Other than that, I'm not going to save 4 pairs. But this I find interesting, so I'm going to hold on to it. I found a birthday note. This is from the 14th of May, 1944. Some trinaries, 1s, 3s, and 8s. 1s, 8s, and 9s. 0s, 2s, and 4s. 1s, 3s, and 4s. 2s, 5s, and 7s. 1s, 2s, and 7s. 1s, 5s, and 7s. So lots of trinaries. And this one, 0s, 7s, and 8s. And then quads. Quad 1s with a 5th. That's kind of cool. And it's a trinary, 1s, 3s, and 9s. Quad 4s. Quad 4s again. Quad 6s. Quad 8s. And some stars. 2017 star note. 2017 A star note. Always double checking, making sure that the stars aren't filled. 2017 right there. Another 2017. Another 2017. And another. 2013. Another 2013. So I do get my share of stars. Here's one starting with a couple zeros. I like to see that. Another 2013. And some older notes. This one's from 1999. 1995, the last year for web notes. That one's not a web note. 1988A is the first year for web notes, but this one is not a web note. And finally, the oldest note I found from 1969D. 1969D, there's the series on there. It is a Chicago note. It does have writing on it. Very limp, but it's still exciting to find a 69 from circulation. So that's what I found this week. What did I pull out? Well, not every note you find, or not every note you buy, has to be worth $1,000. This is a 1934 $10 Federal Reserve note, and it's one of the light green seals, the lime green seals. Let's see, you can see it's the kind of the olive green in the seal. Now, they did make a dark green and a light green seal, and they actually made more of the light green than the dark green, but it seems that people really like the lime green or the olive green. I am a fan of it. I would prefer to have one that's this shade rather than one that is of the darker green. This just, I'm used to seeing dark green on a bill, so to find a note that's got a different shade of green on it just makes it very interesting to me. And you'll notice the price on this, 15 bucks. It's a $10 note. I paid $5 over face for this, probably even, maybe even less. It was probably a note that I bought probably bought a couple notes and got a deal on. Taking a look at the back, of course, you can see that this is a very familiar back design. The inking on the back is pretty bold as well, so that's real good. You can see they did label it LGS for light green seal. 1934, they said it was a 20 condition, VF20, and yeah, I'd call it a 20. I got no problem calling that one a 20 at all. It's interesting because they went through all the work to find the light green seal. They went through all the work to grade it as a 20. Well, why didn't they price it that way? Let's take a quick peek at the book. Got my book. And let's see. There we go. That looks familiar. Let's look down here. 28B, 28C, 1934. Mine is from Chicago, so it's G. 2004 G. They made 69,000 of them, so they made a bunch of those in Chicago. Looks like it's the second most. If I check over here, it looks like New York was number one at 117 million, Chicago 69 million. But check out the prices, $25 and a 20 and $90 if it's choice uncirculated. So yeah, $25 in the book. I got mine for 15 bucks. So I'm happy with that. Like I said, you don't need every note in your collection to be worth thousands. What you do need is a good reason to have a note in your collection. And like I said, this one having that light green seal, that's all the reason I need. I try to get a large variety of stuff. I try for one of everything. Basically, my collection's a typeset. There are people that will focus on trying to get every single one of these from every different Federal Reserve. I'm content just having an example of each one. All right, guys, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.